Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bite Size PD. My name is Ed Darty, and I'm super excited to share one of my favorite Google tools of all time, Google Forms, and specifically how I use it in the classroom with my students to provide formative assessment, but also meeting the needs of every single child. This is the perfect way for my students to continue the learning, whether that be review or enrichment, after they submit the assessment that I need, so the class can get exactly what they need and continue to move forward during the allotted time versus me have to wait to check the results to move instruction tomorrow. Let's take a look. So here is a Google form that I have blank to start, and the first thing we're gonna do is add a video. So here in my toolbar over here on the right-hand side, the add video icon is here with the play button. And what I'd like to do for my students is select a subject. Let's try the World War II. And of course, as a good teacher, I previewed this video, right? So I know it's perfect. Here we go, I'm gonna add that video in here. And the objective is to watch this video and answer the questions below. The cool thing about when you add a video to Google Forms is that you can click on it and use the blue dots to resize it. And if you click away, you get those snowmen, the 3 dots on top of each other, and you actually get the ability to align it, remove it, or change it. So I'll center align it there. Of course, you have the dots here in the top of the question. So if I wanted to drag this to the top, right? So of course, the video is the first thing the students see. I made that adjustment here. And after World War II, I want to ask the students a question, right? After they watch this video, something that has a right answer and a wrong answer, something that's a question beyond maybe just the basics, that there'll be a further supplemental video for them to watch if they get it wrong, and there'll be some type of enrichment to move it forward if they got it right. So, all right, so here I have my answers to who are the 2 groups formed by various countries, right? So my students can come in and they can pick the right answer. Now, I obviously went a little bit lower level, but of course, this will be a little more challenging on our end just for the basis of it. And what we're looking to do is, again, how they respond to this question will drive them to a review segment or to an enrichment segment. So this is where Google Forms really takes a step up. Over here on the right-hand side, the button underneath where we added the video looks like a little equal signs. And essentially that is add a section. So I'm going to click that one time here and slide down and call this my review section. I'm going to attempt those steps one more time, click on that equals button and slide down. And section 3, of course, would be my enrichment section. And you can call this whatever you like, just giving you the sort of the idea here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click back on my review section, and I'm just going to find a very basic video that would talk about the Axis and Allies. Let's see if we have a review video around it. All right, let's just say this is it, even though it's not about the board game. Let's just add that video in here, review the content, and answer the question below. Right, so of course I have all the same editing features as before. I can make this video bigger. I can click on the snowman and I can align. And you know what, maybe I actually want to repeat this question since it's review. So I'm just going to duplicate this question here. And I'm going to drag this down into the review section. So after they watch this video, they can try it again. Okay, so my review section there, review the content watching this video and then answer the question. And of course, for my enrichment, maybe they're ready for the next step, but maybe instead of a video, it could be an article that I want them to read. So I can choose something like text. Please read this article. And of course, I can paste the link here. Totally making this up. If it actually exists, I'm not sure. But of course, I can say, please read this article, so they know to click on it and jump out. And then again, I can have a multiple choice or another question underneath it. Explain why the two different groups formed. Okay, I can have a question there. So quick recap, just because we're going pretty quick here, right? So in the beginning stages here, I had one section and I used the play button here to add this video onto the screen. And then I could use the plus button to add a question. And I had this very general question from the video that I want my students to answer. But of course, it is a key piece of moving forward with this unit. What I wanted to do is have a review section. So I use that section divider here. I created my review section and I added the video and a question for review. And then lastly, I have the enrichment section, which allows them to read an article and then explain more about why these two different groups formed. Now, of course, the content is there, but the actual navigation is the last piece of this puzzle. So once you add all the content in that you like and the sections are complete, you need to complete the final magic step. How that works is on the one question must be multiple choice. You simply click on it and expand to the editable screen here. You make sure that you require it so they don't skip it. And you will click in the bottom right-hand corner on the three dots and select go to section based on answer. And when you do that, you'll notice that these drop-down menus appear next to each answer. And because we did so well titling our sections, we can easily send them to the section they're supposed to go to. So we just go through and pick for each one. And you'll see that more than one answer can go to one section, right? So 3 of these will go to the review section. One of them will go to enrich. So we would just triple check our answers here. And then we scroll down. This after section 1 will be skipped over. This will overrule that. But underneath section 2, we actually have to make sure we go to the right spot. So this is going to take the review section and throw them into enrichment, which in this case probably makes sense, right? If they get it right, we do want them to move on to the article eventually. But if I didn't want that, I could check to submit the form so I know who went to this, right? Who got review versus who got enrichment, which would help me drive my instruction later on. So it's entirely up to me where I want it to go. I can loop back up to the top, right? Retry the question and then get to the enrichment. It's completely up to you how you want to send them and where you want to send them. But my final step in this is to preview your work. Use that little preview eye in the top right-hand corner and take this quickly as a student and make sure that everything works. So when they pick allies and access, it should go to enrichment. Perfect. There is my linked article, my chance to reply and submit. That's exactly what I wanted. I'll go back and just choose a different one. So choose this one here. And perfect. I got the review section with the review video and a chance to pick my new answer and submit. Perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. So no matter what you're trying to assess your students on, right, that ability to provide formative feedback that's prepped and ready to go without me really intervening, wasting time, trying to look at the answers, right? It's very diagnostic and dynamic. A great way to leverage video and articles that you want your students to work with, but also the ability to use Google Forms to collect that data, which certainly informs your instruction moving forward. So check it out, Google Forms for your assessment, especially with those section-based answers. And this is another episode of Bite Size PD. We'll see you next time.